I'm Dorrik Stow. I'm a geologist and an oceanographer. I think I've been a geologist for all my life. As far back as I can remember as a little boy, I was interested in running around looking at rocks and fossils and collecting ammonites from the south coast of England, looking at the chalk cliffs on the Isle of Wight, wondering how they got there. And now I'm a geologist, a professional geologist, and it's my job to ask questions about those rocks and those fossils and to really try to understand how they did get there and what they mean. And what we find is that they all were marine organisms, and they all formed as part of an ocean that no longer exists, an ocean that we call the Tethys Ocean. And that when the chalk cliffs were formed, that ocean spread across a very large part of the world's surface. In fact, something like 82% of the surface of the Earth was covered with water. Less than half of what is now continent was then continent. The chalk cliffs are formed from tiny, billions upon billions of tiny marine organisms, plankton, that lived at the surface of that ocean and settled to the sea floor and eventually over millions of years turned into rock. When I was drilling in the South Atlantic a number of years ago, we drilled deep below the present sea floor into the sediments that were once part of an ancient ocean, that same ancient ocean. We drilled into black, organic, rich rocks formed during what we call the Cretaceous Period, about 120 million years ago. And it's those same rocks we find all over the world. I found the same ones when I looked at rocks on land in Italy, in the Crimea Peninsula on the Black Sea, in South America, in the Middle East. And it's those black, organic, rich sediments that give rise now to most of the world's oil resources and gas resources. Other places I've looked, we found evidence of strong currents that flowed through those past oceans. We've seen the evidence on the sea, in the sediments that they formed, of powerful currents that swept not only the surface of the seas, but the deep oceans, oceans that were scoured by the most powerful bottom currents coursing through narrow gateways in that deep ocean floor. It's these stories and many other stories that I've been on the trail of for so many years. And I've tried to pull together in Vanished Ocean. It's vanished because 5.5 million years ago, it suddenly disappeared. Where did it go? Where can we find the tails of that past ocean in the rocks of today? It's those sorts of stories that I try to unravel in Vanished Ocean.